Hello, everybody. Today, I've been waiting a long time to do this video. This is a card room tour. I moved into this room a year and a half ago, and since then, I've been getting it ready, getting it showroom ready. I'm just one of those people, I'm still not happy with it, but this is as good as things are going to get for now, where I can still release a video when I want to. So I'm just going to go wall by wall and then take you through the collections as I work my way around the room. First two walls it picks up fast after the first two. Then you will see these two main walls here that have most everything on it. So hang with me and we'll get you through the whole room. Let's check it out. Okay, we are starting with what I call the south wall. Again, this is probably the most plain wall as far as sports stuff, cards, memorabilia goes. I have some built-in shelves. This area I use is kind of a catch-all, and you'll see a little bit more of it later on this other wall. These are my books. I do have sports books here, and I have some more on the last wall you'll see. My hats I put here. Prior to having this rack, my hat situation was a nightmare. I don't find myself wearing a lot of hats, mostly because I'm a sweater. But I do like hats, and I'm given hats as gifts, and I can't just toss them or whatever. So I'm happy to have hats to choose from when I feel like I want to wear hats. Back of the door, there's two doors to this room. This one you've probably never seen, but I keep some of my old art here. This was given to me by some students my first year in public education, and so that's special to me. I keep that there. This little 4 cube jobby is just kind of a catch-all for art stuff. Whenever I need to throw something aside, I put it on this table. It's a nightmare, but that's part of the chaos. And Eddy's cardboard chaos is my wife calls them my doom piles. And I had a couple I had to move out of this room just so I could make this video. Turntable, records down below. Here's my oversized Jim Lomborg poster inspired by Cheers. I'm getting to where I might want to use this space. It's a lot of wall space for a poster like that. I don't know that I can keep it forever, but for now, that's where it's at. This is my favorite thing on this wall. It's a ceramic artwork, two older gentlemen playing pool, one smoking a cigar, and a little blonde-haired boy. And that hung in my grandfather's rec room for decades. And he used to say that little blonde boy, that was me. And he was the one with the cigar. And that was my Uncle Doyle, my uncle through marriage. And when my grandfather passed away in 2011, he had a rec room, a pool room, had a pool table in it. It was all tore up. And probably 200 antler head mounts and then some stuff like that. And my dad called me and said, if you want anything from the pool room, get over here before your cousins do. And I practically left skid marks on the driveway heading out of here to go grab this. And at first I didn't see it. I was kind of panicked, and I moved some furniture, and sure enough, there it was. And anyway, special to me. Grandpa passed on in 2011, and Uncle Doyle left us earlier this year. And little boy is still around for now. Moving on to the west wall, you see there's my turntable from earlier. I have 3 albums framed, just albums I really love, or I really love the artwork, or both in all cases. And that's another space I might have to utilize in the future, and I'll figure out where to display those albums or maybe stop displaying them. I don't know. There's a little bench here with some boxes, some box clutter on. Eventually, I would love to get totally away from being a box guy and get everything up on the walls. The prevailing wisdom being, why do I own it if it's sitting in a box? I'm at a point in my life where I just don't want volume. I want to enjoy what I have. And that's really been the focus the last 2 years and the catalyst for really putting all this together. So I hope you're liking it. It's been fun so far making it. In this room, most of the action's over here on this little partial wall. I'm going to turn this light off. Should have already. From here up is a Seahawks, easy for me to say, Ring of Honor display. There are cards and players not on there just yet because I'm still figuring out what I want to get for them. But that's what we have for that. Below that are 3 bats. You've probably seen these in the background of some of my videos if I'm shooting from my desk. The top bat's Kyle Seager, one of my favorite modern Mariners. Below that, Alvin Davis, my first real boyhood hero. And below that, Raul Ibanez, another one of my favorite modern Mariners. And the Alvin Davis bat I got in person, and that is a game used bat, and he even verified that for me when I got it. So that was really exciting. Below that are some Mariners bobbleheads that just sort of fell into my possession. I don't actively seek bobbleheads, but they find me, and I put cards below with each player. The one exception is this extra Ichiro, and I even have an Ichiro that's not out here because, again, they find me. And this really cool Ted Williams magazine I wanted to give away, and I'm still figuring out where exactly I would display that. The north wall now, you see here is those bats and baubles you saw on the last wall. So working our way around. The top left of this wall, I have my knuckleball collection. I have displayed with it my knuckleball history of the unhittable pitch book with it. I have the Hall of Famers displayed kind of below that. Wilhelm, Ted Lyons, Phil Niekro, and Jesse Haynes. And then I have 4 cards displayed of other greats, modern greats. And then I have some pioneers. I have a cool blanket card of Knapp Rucker, Ed Summers, and Eddy Cicotte. Next to that, I have a postcard, a knuckleball postcard, and that I used to send out to TTM until it got too risky, or I just ran out of guys that were really good signers. And for years I was saying, I will only send this to I will only get R.A. Dickey or Tim Wakefield, and it will only be in person. And obviously I ran out of chances to get Tim Wakefield, but I want R.A. Dickey to do another national. The last one he did was one I missed, so a little bummed about that. But there's a spot for R.A. Dickey on here. But we got Phil Niekro right on this sweet spot, Charlie Huff, Eddie Fisher, and Wilbur Wood. He signed it. It almost looks like William, but there's Wilbur Wood. Below that, I have my Harvey Haddix display, along with my book, my original art from Reindeer Studios, which I really love. My rookie card, which was the very first card I ever purchased at a national. There's Vinny from 62. This autograph was given to me by Junk Wax Hero. This custom I found on eBay, but I really liked it. And then sometimes I'll just set a card here. Right now it's the transfer. So next to that, I have signed photo of Bill Mazeroski's walk-off. Harvey Haddix was the winning pitcher in that game. Not a lot of people know that. And then I have 2 postcards that are signed and a really small cartoon that I bought off eBay that I didn't realize was that small, but it still works there. Moving on, we have cases. We have 4 cases. These are both Hall of Fame autographs. There's a lot of gaps in here, and that's because I'm making room for when I get back from the National. I could have this filled up a couple times over, but I have to be kind of selective about what I'm putting out. But this and this are Hall of Fame baseball autographs. This is baseball Hall of Famers and greats. Why? Because there's players that I want to display that aren't necessarily in the Hall of Fame. And so I can do whatever I want. It's my room. And then I have some like mini, here's a 56 collection that I'm starting. And I want to fill that out more. Some of my Wheaties. Okay. Then I have a row of modern Mariners. I have tennis Hall of Famers. I'm now out of room here. And that's why I might have to take that Jim Lomborg poster down or those record covers. And then boxing. And I want to do a different display for boxing too. And I can't just fit everything on one row. So that's for me to figure out. My friend Alan is going to be getting a card room soon, Boston fan. He's asked me about these cases a couple times because they're in the background of pretty much every video. And I feel bad I delayed in answering him because I don't know what to tell him. This was given to me, and I don't even know where it was purchased. It clearly doesn't match the other three, but that's just kind of my life. That's the chaos in collecting, not what I collect, but how I live my life and how I do things. Let's see, one of these, this one I purchased off Amazon. Well, it was an anniversary gift, but you know how that goes, guys. And this one I like. It's like actual wood. Okay, you hear that? And that's plastic, but it's a durable kind of plasticky. Okay, a year later, I order these two. Same SKU off Amazon. I just hit reorder. Okay. This is a cheaper plastic. You hear that? This is a cheaper plastic. And there's even like, look at this. This kind of sticks to this. And there's like little rivets here. So the cards go a little bit crooked if they're up in the corner. And so, Alan, I haven't been ducking your question. You asked it twice and I never answered it. Really, because I was supposed to do this video a year ago. I can't give you a case recommendation because I wouldn't want you ordering this. I would have no problem with you ordering this, but I don't know if you can even get them. And again, I have no idea where I got that. So just some artwork over here. That might again come down, make space for something. I've got just, these were actually called book display racks or something like that. I found them on Amazon. Just little plastic trays, and I have more to put up. But I just have some oversized stuff there. I should have checked to see that I set the camera, yeah, to catch it. There it is. Oversized stuff. And one of my favorite sections, the strip of cards here. You got Bad News Bears. Missing a very important autograph from this, which I am going to fix this year. I am going to get the Kelly Leak, Jackie Earl Haley. Tatum O'Neal will go over here, and he's going to go right here. And there's the rest of the Bad News Bears. Original art from Scott, my DVD. I love that. And actually have done a video on that piece of art. Check it out. There's a link. And below that is my If Scott Were in Charge of Diamond Kings from 2024. And a bunch of his Series 1 marker doodles, or I forget what he's calling those, but the last series that he did there. Up above, various artwork, prints. This is my very first mosaic I ever did. These are those metal signs. Brooks Robinson mosaic. There is one of those Pop Fly Pop Shop. Sam Malone, because I'm a huge Cheers fan. Slider of Death, the joke being that it was the fans and the players, his teammates, that called it the Slider of Death. The Ricky mosaic I did last year, and I put some cards here to complement that. Hank Aaron stamped collection, and then some of the, is it 70 Topps posters. I just picked some players that I really liked that weren't represented necessarily enough in the room, and that I thought it would look cool to have different colors for each background. Johnny Bench, Phil Niekro, Frank Robinson, and Frank Howard, my all-time favorite baseball nickname, Capital Punisher. That is it. Oh, and I put some jerseys and stuff on the back of the door. And I actually have some more that I want to put there. I just have to do it still. So Okay, that brings us to the final wall, the east wall. A lot of action on this wall. Usually where I'm standing right now is where my chair is. So you see me face the other way in the last wall in the background, or I'm standing over there by the turntable. But anyway, this is where, again, like with the last wall, I have most of my stuff because this is where I have most of my wall space. So most importantly, I have my YouTuber cards over here. I keep all the cards given to me in these, and there's a chance I've lost one or two over the years, but hopefully not too many. Balls, pretty straightforward. There's half dozen Hall of Famers in there. The rest are just kind of filler balls, so this doesn't look so naked. And I'm not going to go over those individually right now, but maybe at some point in the future. On top of the ball case is my tribute to art cards and great sports artists. And so, of course, we got Scott, whoever did the score all-star cards, triple play design, Bowman Joe Adcock, one of the most beautiful cards ever made. Of course, we got a Perez Steel. We have Provisions signed by Ryan Sandberg. And my favorite Topps 2020 artist, not that I got too involved in that, was F. Dot. And he did this Ricky Rookie. Right above that is where I keep my YouTube All-Star Awards right here. Okay. And then these are unopened packs. Above that is just some oversized, some signed hostess panels that I have. And a couple postcards that were given to me by Tony Black. And he wanted me to send those out for TTM, but they're photos he took and postcards he made, and I don't think I'll be doing that. So below the ball case is my Mookie Chilson inspired pin board. Starting us off with two cards that he gave me. Harvey Haddix on the 55. And then here's a 59 that's a little hard to see from here, but it's a traded. Somebody had scribbled off Cincinnati Redlegs and wrote Pitts on there. And below that, I keep two beater junker cards. Maury Wills is also a traded. And this Nellie Fox, someone did a tic-tac-toe on his head. It looks like, I don't know, X is one, I think. And I really like this button here. I'm a baseball dad. My daughter got me that for Christmas. She found it at a secondhand store. It was probably a quarter. It's literally all she had. And this is not when she was 5. This is this year. She's 22. But it's one of my favorite gifts because it's screwy and weird and funny, and it's just her. So below that, a starting lineup with Randy Johnson and Nolan Ryan. Shout out to Collecting Maddox for giving me that. Thank you very much. And this is a Sonics uncut sheet with a very rare Gary Payton rookie year card on there. And someone gave me this Edgar Martinez Way sign. Moving on to the desktop area, I've displayed some of my 92 action-packed Hall of Fame and great players autograph cards up against the wall here. There's probably 12 to 15 I don't have up just because I'm running out of places to put them. I do want to explore using this area here behind these monitors, but then that's behind my monitors. I'm not gonna see as well. I'm not gonna see this stuff. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Just pens and paper, pens and pencils. Humidifier, every card should have a humidifier or dehumidifier rather. Take humidity out of the air, protect cards. Moving on to the built-in bookshelves, I have a Sonics collection here. The first 5 cards displayed here are the 5 all-time top scorers in franchise history. Gary Payton, Downtown Freddie Brown, Jack Sikma, Rashad Lewis, and Sean Kemp. I've also put in here a Spencer Haywood card. I put Lenny Wilkins, Ray Allen, because they're other important notable Sonics or Hall of Famers. Above the Sonics display, I have my Brooks Robinson stuff, including my rookie 8x10, which is the first autograph. I bought a Brooks Robinson in probably 1993-ish, 94, at a card show in Medford, Oregon. My Stadium Club autographs, assorted other autographs, 69 Giants. I got an index card here. I got some starting lineups. And then here I just have set a bunch more autographs just because you got to have something there. Above that, I have some of my great moments. Perez Steele, Sandy Koufax I got early this year, along with Eddie Matthews, Johnny Bench, Duke Snyder. That's the one I've had the longest. Going above that is sort of an undedicated space. I did have some junk up there, but I moved it out for the video because it was ugly. That's a print from Tim Carroll. If you're familiar with him, he makes art out of old commons, used cards, old cards. And he even has a piece, I believe, displayed in the Hall of Fame. But a cool guy. And I want to say he was at the National, he had a booth 2017, 18, somewhere in there. Right now I use this side to display books. I could see as the Perez Steel collection grows, which it will next week, pushing these out and moving them with my other baseball books that are right here over by my waving hand. But for now, I just have something up there. This is the Glory of Their Times collection. It's very small right now. I don't like that these modern cards are here because modern cards aren't really supposed to be a part of it. But this looks pretty naked without these. So that's something else that will change next week. But for now, for the actual vintage cards that are going to stay in this collection, I have Al Bridwell, Jimmy Austin, Goose Goslin on the DeLong, and I have a T206 of Tommy Leach. The Rube Marquard is actually from a Hall of Fame autograph collection. But again, I got to put something in here. And then I have a 1960 Greenberg, the new scoops, and that won't count for this either once I start filling this up because this is a pre-war only collection. And then I have a copy of the book here in Ken Burns Baseball on VHS. Fill things out. Below that is my tribute to baseball in Washington State history. I'm not going to go through these cards individually because they're in here to tell a story. And to tell that story, you're probably looking at a 10 or 15 minute standalone video. So eventually I will take you through this. There's some tweaks that I want to do to it before I do that. And again, we're back over to our other side of this very first spot where we started, these catch-all cabinets where I just put stuff. And when I need to tidy up and my wife's making fun of me for my death piles, I stick them all in there and at least they're all in one place. So there's cards in there and other random stuff. Pigs in Space lunchbox. Like, what do you do with this? You can't throw it away, right? Well, that's it. I forgot to cut my outro when I was doing the intro. So I guess we'll just do it now. This is the very first deer I ever got when I was 10 years old. Will you believe that? A mouse got a hold of the felt when it was in storage. But anyway, that's it for now. Until next time, remember, we don't count subscribers, we count friends.